So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a wash of this sort of greeny amber colour over the whole of the eye initially, so we can just leave that and let that dry. So I probably haven't got quite the right colour, so we're going to have to mix that. I've just gone for my little 12 set of paints, because I know some of you haven't got huge sets, so we should be able to mix up.
I haven't got a white room.
Right, we'll need to use gouache when we come to do the white. Have you got some gouache from the other time? That's it then, that's what you need. So I'm going to use a bit of yellow ochre and a bit of my green, it's like a sap green, to try and get that colour. Then you can use the bottom of your sheet or the top of the sheet to help you get that, check out the colours. That's still a bit too greeny, so we'll put a bit more yellow ochre in. And so check the colours, still a bit greeny, let's go a bit more yellow ochre. So it's quite amber colour but with tints of greeny, so I think that's more the sort of colour. So I've done my tests down, push that up a bit, down at the bottom. So what I'm going to do now, so nice and carefully just paint the whole of the iris in. Paint the whole of that eye in, and I'm going to do the same on the other side.
So if I just draw his ears, eyes, nose and mouth, is that enough?
And then sort of where his fur is, where there's breaks in the fur, where they start going, just a few. You don't want to put every curl in, do you? Excuse me. But we need to have the shape. So let's just, right, I'm just going to let that dry.
No, I'm just, does it matter if I just draw roughly in one line or in zigzags or?
So you've got the eye, yeah, nice and neat. You've got the nose, you've got a better picture on it so we can see the nose. So I would just sort of put like a line there, if that's, you know, a bit of a line there, just to show direction of the fur. That's right here. And then you just
zigzag.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
yeah, otherwise you'd be in there.
Oh, so it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
tied with anything.
No, so this is your reference picture. Brown, a little chocolate brown. They are there, alright, sort of amber, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so your eyes, what eyes would they be? So we're doing the pupil first. I know it's a black and white, so I would go for either not amber colour or huge. I'm sure you one of the pictures. Take one of the pictures so you can look. So just print that off, just a little bit of paper, because we're doing the iris, the colour bit of the iris. You got something. So depending upon your cat or dog, often we've got quite a lot of skin around the eye, but don't forget the eyeball is round, it's not rugby ball shape, it's not oval, so there might be, say, fur going over the top of it, or there may be skin sagging around, particularly up to the bloodhound one or the bulldogs, things like that. Obviously cats have got quite clear eyes, tend to be not a huge amount of fur around them, and they tend to have this lovely bit of black outliner around them as well. So just with a dry brush, I've wet it and then just dried it on a bit of tissue. I can just take out a little bit of light. Just take a little bit out around it. Just where there's a little bit of light catching it. We might go back in with a slightly brown colour as well, I think, to add a little bit more interest. So I'm going to take something like a burnt umber, sepia, something like that. I've got a nice small brush now. Again, test out the strength on your paper. You don't want it too strong, but just want to add a little bit of a slightly darker shade around the edge at the moment. We want that to feed in. If it's gone a little bit dry, which mine has, I'm just going to dampen my brush and just blend it in a little bit more. Some cats have got really quite a lot of flecks, well, and lots of flecks in their eyes. So I'm just going to put that slightly darker brown around that. While that's drying, because we don't want to go in and put any hard lines in yet, because it's still wet. So if we go in wet against wet, it'll bleed and run, and we don't want that. We want nice crisp lines. So we'll let that dry. But while that's drying, I can put a little bit of pink onto the nose. So I'm going to use my I've got quite bright reds, so I'm going to use my cadmium red, but I'm going to keep it nice and watery. Daisy had half a pink nose and a bit of a black nose as well, so I'm going to put again I'm using a 0 brush, and I'm just going to put the pink on first of all. Again, I'll need to have a closer look at another cat just to get the nose right. They haven't got very big noses, have they, cats? Although they're very sensitive. So Newton had a great day yesterday. 2 birds. 2 dead birds yesterday.
Sorry Rose, I haven't got black either. I have got it in my acrylics.
Right, what colours have you got?
Because I need black.
You will need black, but we can make a very dark colour. You've not got black in any of your sets?
No, it's not green for some reason. I don't know what's going on. I was on too fast to be pretty.
You've got your gouache. Yeah. You're not going to colour that?
No.
Rose is out only. I've brought everything apart from the colour.
Watercolours we're doing.
Kind of have all that. I think it's
It's worked here last week, so I'm not sure.
okay.
Rose, what could I add to? Because that coat is more like a petrol blue. Because I've got a grey gouache here.
Right, don't go in with your gouache yet. We'll start off with watercolour. So obviously black. If we add blue to black, it can make it look more denser and more vibrant. So need to, we take that off then now.
Yeah.
So we get your reference picture. So what colour eyes you've done them? You've done sort of like pupils rather than this very dark brown, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'll just outline the black. Like a brown underneath.
Yeah. So let's say try and do the eyeball first, and then we'll go in with the pupils. The black. So, as I say, she's got a black nose, but we put those black nostrils in. So, nice fine brush. So, they've only got quite small nostrils, cats. If you can't see it on yours, find another picture that you can see a bit clearer on. So she's got one side pink and then the other side was black. So we'll just put that into there. Wash my brush, just dry it on a bit of towel, or I just tend to use the paper that's on the desk, and then we'll just spread that through a little bit so it's not such a harsh dark line as it comes through to the pink bit. Now they're nice and dry now, those eyes, because what we're going to do is, so you need a nice, a lovely fine brush that makes a good point. It's no use trying to do fine lines with a thick brush. We want to be nice and accurate, and we want to have a nice point. So a sable or synthetic brush, not a hog brush, and we want to put these darker areas around the eyes. So we get a nice fine line, so we've got the sort of the little bit around the eyeball. So good strong mix of black, and I say a lot of the animals, they seem to have this almost like eyeliner. So it goes thinner at the bottom of the eye, and then around the side of the eye. Don't forget that is an eyeball, so it's round. And take your time with this. She's got the white of the fur above it, so I'm just going to put a little almost broken line on there. And then just again wash your brush out, and then just fade this through a little bit into the corners. Yeah, it's important to just take this slowly, don't rush it, because this, if these aren't right, the whole picture is going to be not right. So again, we've got quite a lot of black this side because it goes into black fur as well. So you might want to turn your paper around, whichever makes it easier for right-handed people to work sort of anti-clockwise on the right-hand side of your paper. I find it a bit harder working on the left-hand side of my paper. But so if it doesn't quite feel right, just turn your paper upside down. So we've got quite a lot of black on this side of the eye. Again, nice big black outline. cross-eyed cats. I'm just going to again put that bit of. How you all doing? You all right? Don't rush it, take your time. So now I can come in with the pupils now. So we've got a good, don't worry about the white highlights yet, we will put those in with gouache. So obviously this is quite dark, this photograph, so nice big black pupils. A nice good strong mix of black there. And the same on the other one. Hopefully you've got that line that you can still see from drawing it. And see if you've got a lot of sun in the picture, the pupils are just going to be almost lines in cats, aren't they? Some of you that have got very furry dogs or cats, you probably can't see that much of the eye. Is the first stage of getting those eyes in. We'll twist them a little bit more, and obviously we'll put those highlights in, but we just need to leave that for the moment and begin to work onto the fur. Now, anybody got sort of tabby, mottled type cats? Yeah? So obviously Daisy's black and white, but when you come to do tabby cats or something like that, just do a little test down here. We can put a background in. I'll just do this sort of like ochre colour here, and we can use the quality of the watercolour and how we put wet onto wet, and it will bleed, but we need to just get it to the point where it's not too wet. So if we put a second colour on, it's not going to just like go all over the place, but we'll put it on and it will just pull out a bit and give us this suggestion of fur, and that's a good basis to then build on top with smaller brush strokes. So you don't want to work over the whole of the cat at the same time, because it'll probably be too dry by the time we get to that. So what we want to do is it's a good idea to have a little test, so you know how quickly everything's going to dry. But you want that glaze, that sort of wet glaze, to go off it, and it might be an idea to just do, when you come to do it on the cat, just do a little test piece so that you can test into that before you go into the cat. So hopefully we can drop colour into this, and the water will pull the brown out into the ochre and give us the idea of fur. There's a tendency to want to fiddle with it. Perhaps a little bit dry just there. Just getting the right amount of water and colour on there. But you don't want it too wet or it will go all over the place, but you don't want it too dry that it doesn't do what you want it to do. Cindy's got a spotty cat. See, that's a little bit wet, I'd say, because it's pulling it too much. Good way of getting the variegated pattern of the tabby cat.
Got the coffee lady on the phone.
Oh.
Too much.
Right, what I'm going to do before I tackle the black is I'm just going to put a little bit of pink on her ears here. We see a little bit of the inside, and we've got a little bit. You can't see much, but we've just put a little bit of pink down there. Just spread that about. So much more controlled than often our watercolour, because we want to try and get that, capture that quality of the cat and the fur.